What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap Show. Shout out to the GOAT, Jon Bones Jones, the greatest UFC fighter in history, in my opinion. We look at Jon Jones and look at his resume alone. So many title defenses. So much has happened in Jon Jones' career leading up to this point. We are 1 week away until UFC 285. I cannot wait. I think all UFC fans around the world should really be excited about this, about Jon Jones coming back. It's been about, 3 years? Something like that since Jon Jones. We've seen him in the octagon. We know his talent. It's God-given talent. You can't teach some of the things that Jon Jones does inside the octagon, especially his fight IQ. It's amazing. It's crazy how good Jon Jones really is, and why is he the GOAT? Currently and ever in UFC history, no current champion had a title before the age of 27 years old, okay? When Jon Jones was 27, he had 7 title defenses, dude, when he was just 27. That is crazy, dude. That is amazing. I mean, when he first came into the UFC, he went through them all. He went through Shogun, which Shogun is a Hall of Famer in the MMA community, a great career as a fighter, fought over in Pride, did great in Pride. Shout out to Shogun. He destroyed Shogun back in 2011 at UFC 128. That was really Jon Jones is like, who is Jon Jones? Who is this guy? And then when he ran through Shogun, we were like, okay, this guy's legit. Then he beat my favorite fighter, my favorite UFC fighter, Rampage Jackson at UFC 135 with a choke in the 4th round. And I look at Rampage, he was a former champion as well. He knocked out Chuck Liddell back in 2007. I think that was UFC 71. And Rampage even said, look, I think Jon Jones is a dirty fighter, and a lot of people have said that, the eye pokes, all this and that. But at the end of the day, it's hard to stop Jon Jones. He looks like he's 6'4", built like a freaking brick house, and can move like a middleweight, which is insane to me. But Rampage even said he's a dirty fighter. But we look at Rampage's career, he's a Hall of Famer as well. Won the belt in 2007, and he said that Chuck Liddell fight, Rampage made over $5 million. And we see today, some of these cats, like, for example, like Francis Ngannou's off the UFC roster, and they were saying he was getting paid like $500,000. This is back in 2007 with Chuck Liddell and Rampage, Tito Ortiz, all these cats. They were getting paid nice. Now, all of a sudden, current day, everyone complains about the paycheck. It's crazy to me, right? Who knows? Only the fighters really do know. But, for Jon Jones, it's insane. And then he beats Lyoto Machida at UFC 140 by guillotine choke. And that was all in the same year, dude. He beat Shogun, Rampage, and Machida all in the same year. And when Machida came on the scene, we were like, holy cow, this is the new, GOAT here. This is the new, newer version of GSP, but just a different fighter version of GSP. It's crazy. And then he ran through him. He beat Rashad Evans at UFC 145. He beat Victor Belfort. He beat Chael Sonnen by, in under a minute in that fight at UFC 159. Chael Sonnen's a great wrestler. He made him look average. He made him look like a little kid, Jon Jones did. It's crazy. I think Jon Jones, the greatness is there. My thing is Jon Jones can only defeat himself. And there's a lot of stuff outside the octagon dealing with Jon Jones, all the, arrests, the DUIs. I think, right now for Jon Jones' career, this is huge for him. You got to put that past you. You got to look at the past, everyone's past, even my past. You got to look at it and say, look, let's move forward now. The past is done. We can't change it. We can't change what the past happened. So let's just put our foot on the gas and move forward and continue to move forward. And I think that's what Jon Jones needs to do. And it looks like that's what he's been doing. And he beat Cormier twice. We remember that fight, the second one especially, where Jon Jones threw a crazy leg kick. Cormier went right into it. And what's crazy, why I say Jon Jones has a great IQ, well, he was stumbling, right? What did Jon Jones do? No, he didn't go for the takedown. He went for the trip. He tripped Daniel Cormier to get him spinning even more, and that's when he went to the ground and grounded and pounded him, and then it's over, just like that. I just think we've never seen an athlete like Jon Jones in the UFC. We just haven't, dude. He's a great wrestler. He's a great stand-up. He can do Muay Thai. He can do all these things inside the octagon where it's like, holy cow, but I do think at UFC 285, this is a huge test for Jon Jones. Absolutely, dude. I mean, Cyril Gahn, he's no joke, and I think he might have a better stand-up game. And I think if I'm coaches for Jon Jones, I'm in this fight and I'm saying, look, you might want to stand up with them for a little bit. But I think the move is for Jon Jones is to get this fight on the ground. You know, you're a wrestler, Jon Jones. You've out-wrestled Daniel Cormier, who's an Olympian. There's just, I mean, dude, it's like amazing. So I think Jon Jones wrestle him, dude. Take Cyril Gahn down and just beat him at that. You know, it's so many things. But, I mean, Jon Jones, dude, it's amazing. Obviously, you know, with outside the octagon stuff, so let's say he never got in trouble. Who knows where Jon Jones would be? I think Jon Jones would have already fought, you know, everybody in the heavyweight division. He would have fought Francis Ngannou already if all that stuff didn't happen in his personal life, things like of that nature. But I think, you know, Francis Ngannou, I don't know what's going to happen. He's out of the UFC right now. I'm thinking, what's next for Francis, dude? I'd love to see Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou fight. I really would. Would all UFC fans want to see that fight, the heavyweight fight? I think that would do crazy numbers. It really would. But I think this event next week, UFC 285, I do think it's going to be a sellout. It's going to be a crazy crowd. You know, everybody's there to see Jon Jones. And what's even more funny is people want to see Jon Jones fail here. They want to see Jon Jones get knocked out because let's say Jon Jones does lose this fight. What are they gonna say about Jon Jones? Oh, he's washed up now. He's way past his prime. He's not the GOAT. Not even near Anderson Silva's level. All this other stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, Jon Jones is gonna find a way. That's what Jon Jones does. He picks the weaknesses in his opponents and he attacks that. He does. He's going to isolate you, and he's going to bring you on this island one-on-one, and he's going to say, all right, I'm going to take you down if that's your weakness. Oh, okay, you want to stand up and beg? All right, let's stand up and beg. I think Jon Jones has a great stand-up. I think it's very underrated, and I think his leg kicks and his elbows are just insane, right? That's why they call him Jon Bones Jones. Johnny Bones Jones, man. Shout out to Jon Jones, dude. It's amazing. 26-1 in the UFC with 1 no contest. You know, just so much, dude. I think that the first 5 years in the UFC for Jon Jones were just like, how does he do this, dude? He defeated so many champions after champions. Where in the UFC, a lot of guys want to bring up Khabib, which shout out to Khabib Nurmagomedov. I mean, a great career in the UFC, undefeated. But really, a lot of the opponents that Khabib fought, you know, were relatively, like, kind of unknown. Nobody really knew about some of these guys. Yes, he fought McGregor. We know what happened there. He mauled McGregor. But overall, I'm thinking, you know, no one comes close to Jon Jones. You know, and Khabib doesn't have as many title defenses as Jon Jones. Khabib didn't fight as many champions as Jon Jones. Like, dude, Jon Jones has fought so many champions, dude. We're talking Hall of Famers. I mean, the first 4, arguably, Shogun, Rampage, Lyoto Machida, and Rashad Evans, all in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's Hall of Fame worthy, dude. And he made those guys look pretty average. He really did, which is crazy. And I will say, you know, since Rampage is my dog, he did fight Rampage towards the end of Rampage's career. I do think it would have been a better fight if we saw the young Rampage back in 2007 or even the Pride Rampage, where Rampage could wrestle. You know, he could even throw leg kicks. He could do different things besides boxing. I think the Rampage at UFC 135 was just one-dimensional boxer at that point. He was way past his prime, but at the end of the day, we could say that about Shogun as well. But Machida, it's crazy, man. Chael Sonnen ran through him, and a lot of people in the MMA community love Chael Sonnen. He does great things. He's even doing great things now out of retirement. But I'm looking at Jon Jones and saying, who's he going to pass? Like, who's going to pass Jon Jones? Who's the next Jon Jones? You know, there won't be another Jon Jones. You know, Jon Jones, to me, in the UFC, he's like the LeBron James, man. He's the best. He's a top tier. He's the cream of the crop, dude. That's what Jon Jones is. He can take a punch, and that was the narrative all, you know, through his younger career was, oh, Jon Jones he can't take a punch, he can't do this, because we never really seen him be able to take a punch. But when he fought Alexander, man, twice and beat him twice, you know, that's when the first test was. That was when it was like, okay, Jon Jones is human. He is getting hit. He is bleeding, okay? Like, that is Jon Jones. He is human. We do know that. But overall, yes, I will. And then he fought Dominic Reyes, I think his most recent fight, and he did not look good in that at all. He didn't, okay? I will give you guys that. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to see a new, improved Jon Jones. I think we're going to see a hungry Jon Jones. Because if you look at Jon Jones now, hasn't fought in so long, and we're sitting up here saying, look, this is kind of like his second wave of his career. Towards the end of his career, we could say that. I think Jon Jones has a good 5 years left in him in the UFC, in the heavyweight division. I think he can run through the heavyweight division. If he gets past Cyril Gane, I really believe that Jon Jones is just going to run through everybody. And then what are they going to say? He's going to become the heavyweight champion of the world. And he was once the light heavyweight champion of the world till he just gave it up. He said, hey, I'm going to go up in heavyweight now. Okay, I'm going to bulk up. I'm going to become a beast, dude. And Jon Jones now is like 280. It looks like he's 285, probably about 265. I mean, built like a brick. Just in the weight room, I mean, training hard, and I do think Jon Jones is hungry, because if Jon Jones wasn't hungry, we wouldn't see Jon Jones this year. We wouldn't see him at heavyweight. So I think timing is everything, and I think right now for Jon Jones, this is the time to showcase who Jon Jones is, why he's the GOAT, why he's the greatest of all time, why he hasn't taken out, okay? Like, this is it right here. So I think Jon Jones, he's going to have a masterpiece performance. I think he's going to he could be, I do believe, even though Cyril Gane's one of the most athletic heavyweights, quickest heavyweights, I do think, Jon Jones is going to make him look average. I think he's going to make him look slow on his feet. I think Jon Jones throws better leg kicks than Cyril Gane. I think Jon Jones wrestles better than Cyril Gane. So that's my opinion on the fight. But overall, let's say Jon Jones does win and becomes victorious in a week from today. I think overall, when it's all said and done in the history books of the UFC, when Dana White ends up selling the company at some point, they're going to say, Jon Jones is going to be a household name. Same thing as Anderson Silva, GSP, all the MMA legends. Jon Jones is going to be in there. He's going to be at the top, dude. He really is. We can't just go back and just forget everything that happened with Jon Jones, dude. Jon Jones is a dog. He's a warrior. He's a champion. He's a champion, dude. Like I said, at age 27, he had 7 title defenses already. Already, dude. Already. That is unheard of. Even today in 2023, we don't see that, dude, except Jon Jones. So I think it's Jon Jones. Is this going to be helpful for the UFC? Absolutely. This is great business for Dana White, UFC fans across the world, and what's continuing to grow. I think, UFC at one time, I think it already has passed boxing, absolutely. But for combat sports, I think the UFC's top tier. It's the top of the line. It is, because you can do so many different things. You don't have to just wrestle. You don't just have to box. You can do submissions, so many different things. And I think that's the beauty of fighting. That's why I love the UFC, because you can do all types of different fights. You don't have to stick to one way to win. In the UFC, there's thousands of different ways to win. So I love it, man. The UFC is going to continue to grow. But for Jon Jones' greatness, he's the GOAT. He's my #1 overall UFC fighter ever, dude. And as far as fighting goes, not just boxing world or UFC, as combat sports, we have to put Jon Jones in that Mount Rushmore, dude. We have to already. Jon Jones isn't even retired yet. We had to put him on the Mount Rushmore of top, even not just non-fighting athletes. I'm talking every type of athlete. We got to put Jon Jones in there. A lot of people will say, well, Cap, what about everything that's happened outside of the octagon, whatever? That's gone, dude. Let's hope that Jon Jones has changed. Let's hope he's become a better man from what he was. All the troubles that he had to go through, everything. I do believe, everything happens for a reason. All the trials in everybody's life in the past, that happened for a reason. And that's why we're going to continue to grow and continue to not stop and put the gas on the pedal. So I think it's great. So Jon Jones, he's the GOAT. I got him next weekend at UFC 285. Take off Jon Jones. It's the Clown with Cap show. Let's go!